Welcome back, traveler. Tonight, we drift through science. Tell me, have you ever wondered if the universe around us is truly full or if it's mostly empty? Astronomers have recently discovered that our Milky Way and everything we know might be floating inside an immense invisible bubble, a vast cosmic void spanning hundreds of millions of light years, a silent hollow where galaxies thin out, where gravity grows faint, and where the laws of space whisper instead of roar. Picture yourself suspended in that quiet. The night sky above you glows with stars, but between those points of light lies an ocean of darkness wider than imagination. Out there, space isn't crowded, it's lonely. The nearest cluster of galaxies drifts far away, like lanterns scattered across an endless lake. You are safe here, listening, floating through that stillness, feeling the weightless calm of knowing you are adrift in something larger than comprehension. We tend to think of the cosmos as filled, with planets, dust, stars, but most of it is absence. Only a fraction of reality glows. The rest is silence made visible. Tonight, we'll explore what it means to live not at the center of a crowding universe, but in its vast emptiness. What holds us here? What shapes a void large enough to cradle galaxies, yet gentle enough for life to arise inside its silence? If calm science helps you unwind, a gentle like or quiet subscription helps others find this peaceful corner too. Each listener adds another soft pulse of awareness in the dark, one more consciousness shining quietly across the cosmic distance. Together, we turn this void into something luminous. So settle in, breathe deeply, and let your mind drift with me into the great hollow around us. Tonight, we'll trace the edges of nothingness itself and discover that even emptiness has structure, purpose, and beauty. Let's begin our journey inside the cosmic void. When you first hear the word void, it sounds terrifying. We imagine a hollow abyss, an infinite darkness where nothing exists. Yet in cosmology, the void isn't a place of horror, it's a revelation. It's where the universe reveals its truest proportions. Because most of space, it turns out, is not filled with galaxies at all. It's an ocean of near nothing, stretching between thin islands of matter. In the 1970s, astronomers began mapping the distribution of galaxies using giant telescopes and photographic plates. When they plotted the results, something unexpected appeared. Galaxies weren't spread evenly. They formed walls, filaments, and clusters, leaving behind enormous empty bubbles in between. The universe looked less like a random scatter and more like a sponge, dense threads surrounding vast hollows. These hollows became known as cosmic voids. Some span hundreds of millions of light years. To put that into perspective, light, traveling at nearly 300,000 kilometers per second, would take longer than human civilization has existed to cross one. Inside them, only a few lonely galaxies drift, like candles floating in a desert of darkness. One of these voids surrounds us. Our Milky Way sits near the edge of a region called the local void, a cosmic cavity so enormous it defies ordinary sense. For decades, scientists assumed our galaxy lived in a crowded neighborhood. But when astronomers from Hawaii and Japan began measuring galactic motions with precision, they realized something stunning. Everything around us was moving outward, as if we were inside a bubble expanding slowly into deeper space. Imagine the scale. The local void stretches roughly 150 million light-years across. That's 1,500 times wider than our own galaxy. And yet we float inside it, unaware, our telescopes only now mapping the boundaries. It's like discovering your entire planet sits in the center of a colossal, transparent balloon. At first, This discovery raised questions that bordered on existential. How could we live inside a void? Was this a cosmic coincidence or part of a deeper structure? Did our position mean anything, or was it simply geometry? Scientists debated fiercely. Some even wondered if the expansion of the void might explain why the universe's acceleration appeared faster in certain directions. A puzzle that still lingers today. But to understand a void, you have to understand what it's made of, or rather, what it isn't made of. These regions contain so few galaxies that matter density drops to less than 1/10 the cosmic average. Yet even emptiness isn't truly empty. Between the sparse atoms and dark matter filaments, faint radiation hums, the whisper of the cosmic microwave background, echoing from the Big Bang itself. Think of it like a silent room after a concert. The air still vibrates with the memory of sound. The voidio, too, carries the afterglow of creation, the faint warmth of a universe that once blazed with energy. When you stand under the night sky and feel nothing pressing against you, that nothing is still singing softly in microwaves from 13.8 billion years ago. Scientists use enormous surveys, like the Sloan Digital Sky Survey, to map these hollows in 3 dimensions. When viewed from afar, the universe resembles foam on a cosmic scale. Galaxies form the thin walls. Voids fill the spaces between. Our cosmic address, then, is not in a crowded city of stars, but in one of its quiet suburbs, peaceful, dim, serene. To call it a void might be misleading. It's not absence, it's structure shaped by gravity itself. In the early universe, regions with slightly less matter expanded faster, becoming emptier as time passed. The rich grew richer, the poor poorer. Gravity gathered material into clusters, while leaving gaps to stretch wider and wider. Emptiness was not an accident. It was an outcome of cosmic evolution. Even inside those voids, faint filaments of dark matter remain, invisible yet real. They guide the motion of the few galaxies adrift there. Think of them as cosmic cobwebs, delicate strands holding the architecture of space together. The void isn't chaos, it's design drawn in transparency. When you picture this, it's hard not to feel humbled. We live in a universe that appears mostly empty, yet its emptiness is sculpted by law and logic. The spaces between things matter as much as the things themselves. Without them, the universe would have no contrast, no relief, no beauty. If you could stand far beyond our galaxy and look back, you'd see the Milky Way glimmering near the edge of a dark sea. Around it, faint outlines of other galaxies fade into black. Our cosmic neighborhood looks like an island chain surrounded by an invisible ocean. An ocean made not of water, but of absence. And yet, within that absence, life has emerged. Somehow, inside the quietest corner of the cosmos, atoms learned to sing, stars learned to breathe, and consciousness learned to ask questions. Maybe emptiness isn't a flaw in creation. Maybe it's space for meaning to exist. Astronomers sometimes describe voids as underdense regions, but another word fits just as well: refuge. In the dense regions of the universe, galaxies crash, collide, devour each other in violent mergers. In the voids, things drift quietly. Stars live longer. Chaos is rarer. Peace, even at cosmic scale, finds its own geography. When scientists simulate the cosmic web, they color-code density. Red for crowded clusters, blue for emptiness. The result looks like veins through translucent skin, a living body of space-time. The void is the breath between heartbeats, the pause between notes. The universe inhales through density, exhales through emptiness. Inside those blue hollows, galaxies don't vanish, they slow. Their motion is gentler, their evolution calmer. Some of the faintest, oldest galaxies ever found live in voids, relics untouched by the cosmic traffic elsewhere. Studying them is like reading pages of history that no one else has turned. When telescopes capture these regions, they don't show blackness but faint gradients of faintness, slight shadings of light that mark the boundary between something and nothing. Even voids have edges, and those edges are where new understanding begins. To float inside a void is to feel small, but also safe. Gravity pulls less harshly, radiation presses less strongly, time seems to pass with a different texture, space feels softer, slower. If existence had a lullaby, it would sound like this, an eternal hush stretched across billions of light years. And perhaps that's why our species finds peace in looking upward. The universe's stillness mirrors our own longing for quiet. We spend our lives surrounded by motion, yet the deepest parts of reality rest in calm. Emptiness, it turns out, might be the most stable thing there is. So as we drift deeper into this cosmic hollow, we'll begin to explore not only how the void formed, but what it means for everything that lives inside it, including us. The next chapter opens that silence wider, revealing the physics of expansion, the invisible pressure that shapes the hollow we call home. The story of a void begins with motion. Every patch of space, no matter how silent, participates in the universe's expansion. This is not an explosion, but a stretching, an invisible swelling of the fabric of space-time itself. Galaxies aren't flying through pre-existing space. Space itself is growing between them. Inside a void, that stretching happens faster than anywhere else, like the breath of the cosmos widening its quietest lungs. Einstein's theory of general relativity predicted this strange truth a century ago. Space and time are not fixed. They bend and flow depending on the energy within them. Where matter is dense, gravity slows expansion. Where matter is scarce, like inside a void, expansion accelerates. The universe doesn't expand evenly, it ripples with imbalance. Imagine painting dots on a balloon and inflating it. As the balloon grows, the dots move apart, but none is truly the center. The void behaves similarly, but in reverse. Where the balloon's surface is thinner, expansion happens faster. The emptier the region, the more freely it grows. The universe breathes asymmetrically. Astronomers measure this expansion using the redshift of galaxies, the way light stretches as objects move away from us. In void regions, redshift increases slightly more. Galaxies there drift apart at a gentler pace, but within faster growing space. It's a subtle dance of stillness and motion, where the emptiness does the pushing. This has consequences. If you live inside a void, and we do, your cosmic perspective changes. The universe may appear to expand faster from your vantage point than it truly does overall. Some cosmologists even suggest that our local void could partially explain the Hubble tension, the mismatch in measurements of cosmic expansion. In other words, the emptiness around us might be quietly skewing our understanding of time itself, but emptiness is not idle. Gravity, though weakened, still weaves its influence through the void. Dark matter, though invisible, flows in filaments through its depths. Like faint magnetic lines in transparent glass, these strands pull softly on galaxies, shaping the direction of their drift. Even where space seems abandoned, structure persists. If you could visualize that motion, it would look like a vast current underwater. Galaxies slide along invisible gradients, following pressure differences carved by dark matter and cosmic energy. The void is not chaos, it's fluid dynamics on a scale beyond imagination. To model it, scientists use simulations that require supercomputers the size of buildings. Programs like Illustris and Millennium track billions of particles under the laws of gravity, expansion, and dark energy. When rendered, the result is breathtaking. A web of light and shadow, a universe alive with motion, and in between, those deep, swelling pockets of calm we call voids. Inside these pockets, physics feels different. Light travels slightly faster through emptier regions because there's less gravity to curve its path. Time too flows differently, fractionally faster, though imperceptibly to us. So in a cosmic sense, the void lives a little ahead of the rest of the universe, aging just slightly more quickly in its serenity. Think of that for a moment. The emptiness around us is older than the clusters beyond. We live not in the crowded youth of the cosmos, but in one of its calmer, elder spaces. Perhaps that's why existence feels reflective here, why awareness evolved where the noise is faintest. Consciousness, like life, grows best in the quiet corners. In the early universe, fluctuations in density determined which regions would become clusters and which would become voids. The seeds of emptiness were planted alongside the seeds of stars. Where there was slightly less matter, gravity had less grip, and expansion tugged harder. Over billions of years, these small differences became vast hollows. Voids, then, are records of time, fossils of imbalance. They remember how the universe began, not uniform, but imperfect. And in that imperfection lay creativity. If every point had been identical, no galaxies would have formed, no stars would have burned, no life would have emerged. The void exists because perfection was never the goal. To float within that imperfection is to live inside cosmic contrast. Emptiness defines fullness. Without the silent gaps, light would have no frame. The stars need darkness to shine, just as thought needs silence to form. The void is not the opposite of existence. It is its condition. Even now, as telescopes probe deeper, scientists find new layers of emptiness, supervoids that span billions of light years. One of the largest known is the KBC void, possibly encompassing our entire local region. If confirmed, it means we're not just near a void, we're within one so immense it shapes the observable universe around us. This discovery doesn't frighten astronomers, it fascinates them. Because being in a void explains much about our measurements, our cosmic microwave background, and even the uniformity of light that reaches us. It might also explain why our patch of the cosmos seems so gentle. Perhaps life flourished here precisely because we live in one of the universe's calmest neighborhoods. The cosmic void acts like a natural buffer, less radiation, fewer collisions, fewer gravitational disruptions. A place of stillness in a violent universe. Perhaps that serenity is why Earth has had time to evolve intelligence, to look up and wonder about the very emptiness that protected it. There's a strange poetry in realizing that nothingness can nurture. The absence of density becomes the cradle of awareness. The vacuum between galaxies becomes the breathing room for thought. The same silence that defines cosmic voids also defines the space between your heartbeats. When you breathe in now, the air inside your lungs mirrors the universe's expansion, emptiness filling with rhythm, pressure easing, time stretching. The micro and the macro are not opposites, they are reflections. Each void, whether cosmic or personal, is an invitation to listen. If you close your eyes and imagine the universe expanding, don't think of explosion or speed. Think of softness. Think of silk stretching, of ripples widening across calm water. Expansion is not noise, it's release. The void isn't the universe's failure to fill itself. It's the universe remembering how to relax. And as we drift deeper into this story, we'll begin to explore the paradox at the heart of it all. If emptiness expands, what holds it together? The next chapter unravels that mystery, tracing the hidden skeleton beneath nothingness, the dark matter filaments that give the void its shape and the universe its structure. The universe may look empty, but beneath that emptiness lies a hidden framework, an invisible skeleton made of something we cannot see or touch: dark matter. It doesn't glow, it doesn't reflect, it doesn't absorb light. Yet without it, nothing we know could exist. Every galaxy, every cluster, every star owes its position to the quiet pull of this unseen web. Dark matter acts as the architecture of reality. In the first moments after the Big Bang, it clumped together, forming seeds that would grow into galaxies. Normal matter, atoms, gas, dust, followed the gravitational wells carved by dark matter, falling into invisible valleys of attraction. The bright parts of the cosmos are merely frost on its hidden branches. Astronomers first noticed dark matter not by seeing it, but by noticing what they couldn't explain. Galaxies rotated too fast. Their stars moved as if bound by extra mass, a weight that wasn't visible. The mathematics refused to balance until they added something unseen, 5 times more abundant than everything visible combined. If we could somehow make dark matter visible, the night sky would transform. We'd see vast filaments stretching for hundreds of millions of light years, glowing faintly like veins under translucent skin. Between them, immense bubbles, the voids, would shimmer like the hollow organs of a living being. The universe wouldn't look mechanical. It would look organic. Supercomputer simulations confirm this image. When researchers input the laws of physics and let gravity work over billions of years, the resulting structure resembles a brain, with filaments of dark matter connecting dense nodes of galaxies. The cosmic web isn't chaos, it's an intelligent pattern, a memory of motion frozen in time. In a way, dark matter is the glue between all things. It doesn't collide or react, it simply pulls. It moves through planets, stars, and people without leaving a trace. And yet, without it, every atom would drift apart. The same force that holds galaxies together also holds the geometry of existence itself. Inside the void, the dark matter web grows thinner but never disappears. Even emptiness carries the faint echo of structure. Observations using gravitational lensing, where light bends around mass, reveal faint distortions even in the emptiest regions of space. The void is not pure absence, it's transparent architecture. These filaments are highways for galaxies. They guide their motion through space, shaping cosmic migration. Gravity doesn't just hold, it directs. Over billions of years, galaxies drift along dark matter strands, merging where filaments intersect. The entire universe is in slow-motion traffic, obeying rules older than time itself. To detect dark matter directly, scientists built enormous underground detectors, shielded from cosmic rays. They wait for the faintest collision between a dark matter particle and ordinary atoms. Years pass in silence, machines humming like monks in meditation. Occasionally, a flash of light appears, perhaps noise, perhaps history. Even the search itself feels spiritual, listening for the invisible heartbeat of reality. The mystery deepens because dark matter doesn't behave like ordinary matter. It passes through itself without friction, forming ghostly halos around galaxies. These halos prevent stars from flying apart during rotation, keeping the spiral arms stable. Every star that twinkles tonight owes its position to a sea of invisible guardians. Think of the void as muscle and bone. The dark matter filaments are the bones, the empty space between them, the muscles that allow flexibility. Together they create movement, shape, and balance. The universe isn't just expanding, it's breathing through this skeletal rhythm. Sometimes scientists describe dark matter as a shadow universe, an echo of our own made of different particles. It interacts gravitationally, but not electromagnetically. It neither emits nor receives light. In poetic terms, it's the universe's subconscious, a silent awareness holding everything together beneath the surface of perception. If light is thought, dark matter is memory. It doesn't speak, but it remembers form. Its pull keeps galaxies coherent. Its silence maintains continuity. When stars die, when galaxies collide, when time stretches thin, dark matter endures. It is the constant in a restless cosmos. The more scientists study it, the more elusive it becomes. Every experiment narrows the possibilities, yet reveals new layers of mystery. It's as if the universe wants us to sense its presence, but not pierce its privacy. Some truths, perhaps, are meant to remain partially hidden, known not by sight, but by faith in their gravity. Even the Milky Way swims within a vast dark matter halo, an invisible cocoon stretching far beyond its visible spiral. You can imagine it as an aura surrounding every galaxy, luminous not with light but with influence. The stars you see are just the surface of a much larger, unseen body. Our local void, too, has shape because of this hidden web. Where filaments of dark matter are sparse, gravity weakens and expansion dominates. The void grows like a bubble between bones, stretching but never tearing. Every cosmic structure is defined by what surrounds it, not just by what it contains. Philosophically, dark matter offers a humbling lesson. The most important things in the universe are invisible. You cannot see gravity, yet it holds you. You cannot see time, yet you live within it. You cannot see dark matter, yet it sculpts the stage where existence unfolds. Visibility has never been a requirement for truth. Perhaps that's why the void feels sacred. In its silence, we recognize the pattern behind everything, a balance of light and shadow, seen and unseen. The cosmos is not a place of emptiness, but of participation, where even darkness plays its part in harmony. As our instruments improve, we inch closer to seeing the invisible. The upcoming generations of telescopes like the Vera Rubin Observatory and the Euclid mission will map dark matter with unprecedented precision. But even if we succeed, mystery will remain. For every answer the cosmos gives, it hums 10 more questions in return. So when you gaze at the night sky and feel small, remember this. Most of what holds the stars in place is invisible, yet it's there, wrapping you too. You are not outside that structure. You are woven into it. The same gravity that keeps galaxies whole keeps your feet gently pressed to the earth. And as we drift onward, we'll follow these invisible filaments into their next transformation, toward the energy that doesn't bind but pushes apart. The next chapter opens on that paradox of expansion. Dark energy, the quiet wind that shapes the fate of the void. The deeper we drift into the universe, the more we realize that emptiness isn't empty at all. It's active. something unseen flows through the vast stretches of the void, a force that doesn't pull like gravity but pushes. Scientists call it dark energy, the quiet wind of expansion. It is the breath of the cosmos, filling the gaps, stretching the distances, and deciding the ultimate fate of everything that exists. For decades, astronomers believed gravity would one day slow the universe's growth, perhaps even reverse it. But in the late 1990s, two independent teams studying distant supernovae discovered something extraordinary. The universe's expansion wasn't slowing, it was accelerating. The cosmos wasn't collapsing toward stillness, it was speeding toward infinity. No one expected that. Einstein himself had once introduced a cosmological constant to balance his equations, an invisible pressure to keep the universe stable. Later, thinking it unnecessary, he called it his greatest mistake. But the supernova discoveries showed he was right after all. There really is a cosmic pressure, subtle yet unstoppable. Dark energy now dominates the universe, making up roughly 70% of its total content. Matter, both visible and dark, accounts for the remaining 30. In other words, everything we've ever touched, seen, or imagined exists inside a minority portion of reality. The rest is this silent expansion, this invisible rhythm that pushes the galaxies apart. If dark matter is gravity's whisper, dark energy is its sigh. It moves slowly, evenly, gently, but endlessly. You can't point to where it starts because it doesn't flow through space. It flows as space. Every moment, new space-time is born between galaxies, stretching their connections thinner and thinner, like paint pulled across an infinite canvas. Scientists describe dark energy mathematically, but the feeling it evokes is almost emotional. It's the force of release, of letting go. Gravity holds things together. Dark energy gives them freedom. The universe, like a living organism, inhales and exhales through these two opposing forces. For billions of years, they've been perfectly balanced, but now expansion is winning. That balance shapes everything we see. The voids we live in, the slow drift of galaxies, the fading of light across time, all of it emerges from this competition between pull and push. We exist in the middle of their tension, a universe suspended between embrace and escape. When we look at the night sky, every photon we see has traveled across expanding space. Its wavelength has stretched, its color reddened, its energy softened. This redshift is a record of the universe's growth, a story written in light. Every beam from a distant galaxy carries both memory and movement, whispering how much space has widened since it began its journey. If you could watch the universe in fast motion, it would appear like a great tide receding, galaxies drifting apart like islands revealed by a lowering sea. But there's no edge, no outside, no direction. Expansion happens everywhere at once. Even here, between the atoms in your skin, space-time stretches, so slightly you'll never feel it. But undeniably, some physicists describe dark energy as a property of the vacuum itself, an intrinsic energy of emptiness. Quantum theory predicts that even nothing vibrates with potential, seething with fleeting particles that appear and vanish. Dark energy could be the residual hum of this quantum foam, the static of existence that never fades. Others suggest it might change over time, a dynamic field known as quintessence, waxing and waning through cosmic epochs. If that's true, the universe could breathe in cycles, expanding and slowing, like a heartbeat measured in billions of years. We may be living in one exhalation of eternity, The beauty of dark energy lies in its paradox. It is both the weakest force we know and the most dominant. On small scales, planets, stars, galaxies, it does almost nothing. But over intergalactic distances, its persistence wins. A whisper, repeated forever, becomes louder than a shout. Its influence reaches beyond physics into philosophy. The expansion it drives ensures that, someday, every distant galaxy will slip beyond our view. Light will stretch until it fades into invisibility, leaving each island of stars alone in its own pocket of darkness. The universe will grow not colder, but quieter. The future will belong to silence. Yet there's something tender in that idea. The same process that isolates galaxies also allows them to exist. Without expansion, the cosmos would have collapsed under gravity's weight. Without release, there can be no creation. The push of dark energy gives everything its stage. It's not destruction, it's permission. When you breathe out, you participate in that same principle. Exhalation is expansion on a smaller scale, an act of letting go to make room for what comes next. Dark energy is the universe breathing out, endlessly, peacefully, without hurry or exhaustion. Sometimes, scientists imagine what will happen billions of years from now. As expansion continues, galaxies will vanish from each other's horizons. Stars will fade, heat will disperse, and space will stretch so far that even atoms may drift apart. This heat death of the universe sounds somber, but perhaps it's not an ending. It's rest. After the song of creation, the silence that follows is not tragedy. It's peace. The thought invites humility. The universe doesn't rush, doesn't cling, it flows. Dark energy reminds us that even existence needs to release, that letting go is not loss, it's transformation. The cosmos doesn't fear emptiness, it becomes it. And yet, inside this vast and accelerating space, awareness still flickers. Stars still form, planets still spin, minds still dream. Dark energy may stretch the stage, but the play continues, meaning, it seems, survives expansion. Perhaps consciousness is the universe's way of anchoring itself while it drifts away. The most astonishing truth is that all of this happens within you too. Your atoms are mostly empty space. Your thoughts arise in electric fields. Your heart expands and contracts like the rhythm of galaxies. You are both held by gravity and released by expansion. You are balance embodied. So when you look up at the stars and feel them slipping away, remember, they're not leaving you. You're moving together, carried outward by the same invisible tide. The void isn't distance, it's participation. You are part of the great exhale. And as we drift forward, let's follow this current deeper still, to the places where light and matter intertwine, where voids and filaments merge into one living pattern. The next chapter reveals the cosmic web itself, the tapestry connecting everything through emptiness. From a distance, the universe looks like scattered stars, tiny islands adrift in endless darkness. But when astronomers map it across billions of light years, a pattern appears. Galaxies are not scattered randomly. They gather in vast filaments, stretch across cosmic distances, and weave through enormous voids. This is the cosmic web, a structure so immense that the human mind can barely hold it, yet so delicate it looks like lace embroidered on eternity. Imagine space as a translucent fabric. The bright threads are galaxy clusters, the glowing knots where gravity has gathered matter. The dark gaps between them are the voids, the quiet spaces that give the pattern contrast. Together, they form the largest known structure in existence, a tapestry woven from light and silence, It's easy to think of this web as static, but it's alive with motion. Galaxies drift along its filaments, sliding toward intersections called nodes. There, clusters form, merging into colossal assemblies like the Virgo and Coma clusters. The web evolves slowly, gracefully, like ink spreading through water, never chaotic, always elegant. When scientists simulated this structure using supercomputers, they were astonished. The resulting image resembled something familiar, not machinery, but biology. The cosmic web looks almost like neurons in a brain, with galaxies as synapses and dark matter filaments as axons. It's as if the universe is thinking in slow motion, its thoughts measured in millions of light years. And yet, this resemblance might not be coincidence. Both neural networks and the cosmic web emerge from simple rules of connection, local interactions, gravitational pull in one case, electrical signals in the other, create complexity on a grand scale. The same mathematics describes both. The universe and the mind may share a blueprint. If you could travel along one filament, you'd see galaxies linked like lanterns along a cosmic highway. Between them, rivers of dark matter guide their motion, invisible currents carrying them toward clusters. In those clusters, galaxies collide, merge, and give birth to new stars. Creation and destruction coexist, balanced within the rhythm of gravity. But the web isn't just structure, it's story. Each filament holds the memory of the Big Bang, the echoes of quantum ripples magnified by time. The faint variations in density that once existed in the early universe became the scaffolding of everything we see today. The web is not decoration, it's history frozen in form. To the human eye, this vast pattern is invisible, yet we are immersed in it. Our own Milky Way lies along one such filament, part of a supercluster called Lania Kia, meaning immeasurable heaven in Hawaiian. It stretches over 500 million light-years, containing 100,000 galaxies, all flowing gently toward a mysterious region of attraction known as the Great Attractor. We are threads in that current, drifting slowly, unknowingly, homeward. When you imagine it, you might picture glowing strands stretching endlessly in every direction, luminous but weightless. Between them, the voids appear not as absence but as breath, the pauses that allow the web to vibrate. If the cosmos were music, the voids would be silence, the filaments melody, and together they'd create harmony. Every structure, from galaxies to human bodies, follows this balance. Bones and organs are connected by networks. Rivers and roots spread through their own branching webs. Nature repeats itself across scales, from the microscopic to the cosmic. The universe doesn't invent new designs, it perfects old ones. Some scientists believe that studying the cosmic web may reveal the true nature of dark matter and dark energy. The way filaments bend, twist, and evolve could expose how gravity behaves on the largest scales. In that sense, the universe's structure is its own equation, written not in symbols but in starlight. But there's another way to see it. The cosmic web isn't just out there. It's a metaphor for everything connected. Every star influences another. Every force responds to its surroundings. Every bit of matter participates in the same story. Even in the vastest emptiness, nothing is truly alone. The light from galaxies travels through those filaments, refracting through clouds of gas, distorted by gravity. Some of it bends, some of it fades, but none of it disappears. Every photon eventually meets another particle, another field, another observer. Energy never vanishes, it only changes form. In that, the web becomes a lesson in continuity. Think of yourself within it. The atoms in your body once belonged to stars connected through those same filaments. When you breathe, you exchange particles forged across that network billions of years ago. You are not standing beneath the cosmic web. You are suspended within it, glowing faintly, part of its living pattern. When astronomers look farther, they see the web fading into the edge of the observable universe, beyond which light hasn't had time to reach us. The pattern continues, unseen but certain. Infinity, it seems, is structured. Even the unobservable hums with symmetry. It's tempting to wonder whether the web has consciousness of its own. Could the universe, in some sense, feel its connections? Every movement within it affects every other part. Gravity transmits information at the speed of light. The cosmos might not think as we do, but it remembers, and that memory shapes its design. In a poetic sense, the web is compassion made physical. It connects without judgment, holds without demand, and allows both density and emptiness to coexist. The same principle holds in our own lives. We are bound not by walls, but by threads of influence, empathy, and presence. When you gaze at the night sky and trace constellations, you're performing an ancient act of connection, drawing meaning across distance. The cosmic web does the same on a grand scale. It transforms separation into structure, turning chaos into relationship. Even in the void, those relationships endure. Galaxies move apart, yet their histories remain linked through gravity's invisible handshake. Every action ripples outward, every creation leaves resonance. The universe is not a random scattering of stars. It's a single, continuous organism breathing in slow motion, and perhaps that's why it feels peaceful to think about the cosmic web. It mirrors something familiar, the interdependence of life, thought, and time. You are never truly isolated. You are always part of a pattern older than light itself. The cosmos isn't elsewhere, it's home. So as we drift through this vast network, we'll turn our gaze toward what lives inside the filaments themselves, the glowing cities of matter that break the silence of the void. In the next chapter, we'll explore galaxy clusters, the beating hearts of the cosmic web. Inside the vast cosmic web, light gathers in islands of gravity. These are the galaxy clusters, the beating hearts of the universe. Each one contains hundreds, sometimes thousands, of galaxies bound together by dark matter, orbiting a shared center like stars around a sun. They are the densest, brightest regions in all of space, flickering nodes within an endless network. From a distance, a galaxy cluster looks calm, a glowing mass of light surrounded by darkness. But within Kraus, it's a storm of motion. Galaxies hurtle past one another at millions of kilometers per hour, weaving through clouds of superheated gas that shine in X-rays. Gravity holds this chaos together, but barely. Every encounter leaves a mark, like tides reshaping cosmic shores. The largest known cluster, El Gordo, the fat one, is over 7 quadrillion times the mass of the Sun. Its scale defies comprehension, yet it floats in serenity, surrounded by emptiness. These clusters are paradoxes, violent within, peaceful without. They are explosions contained by equilibrium, proof that stability can coexist with motion. Most of what fills a cluster isn't galaxies at all, but plasma, a hot, invisible mist of charged particles. This intracluster medium is heated to tens of millions of degrees, emitting X-rays that satellites like Chandra and XMM Newton can detect. In visible light, the cluster seems calm. In X-rays, it blazes like a furnace. Through gravitational lensing, clusters reveal even more secrets. Their immense mass bends light from galaxies behind them, warping space-time like glass under pressure. The resulting arcs and halos let scientists map the invisible dark matter holding everything together. It's as if gravity itself sketches the universe's blueprint in distorted light. In those bent shapes lies something poetic, the universe's first mirror. Through lensing, light from distant galaxies travels through the cluster and curves toward us. We see echoes of the past refracted through the present, ancient photons redirected by gravity's gentle hand. Each cluster is both a lens and a memory. The galaxies inside clusters live fast and die quietly. Frequent collisions strip away their gas, halting star formation. Over billions of years, they fade from blue to red, from youth to age. The cluster becomes a city of elder stars, quiet, massive, dignified. The light we see is old but steady, like embers glowing after a fire. At the center of most clusters sits a giant, an enormous elliptical galaxy, sometimes thousands of times larger than the Milky Way. These central galaxies feed on smaller ones that drift too close, merging over eons into colossal structures. In their cores lurk supermassive black holes, engines of unimaginable power that shape the destiny of their host clusters. When two clusters collide, the spectacle is cosmic ballet. Their gases crash and shock, lighting up in X-rays. Their galaxies glide through mostly untouched, too small to collide directly. Dark matter passes through effortlessly, unbothered by the chaos. Observing these collisions helps scientists measure the invisible, proving again that what cannot be seen still governs everything. The bullet cluster, a famous example, became one of the best proofs of dark matter's existence. Two clusters smashed together, and their gas clouds slowed while the unseen mass kept moving forward. X-ray and gravitational maps showed a separation between visible matter and total mass, a silent fingerprint of the invisible universe. Within clusters, magnetic fields thread through plasma like invisible rivers. Particles spiral along these lines, creating radio waves that ripple across millions of light years. Even in emptiness, sound exists, vibrations carried by plasma instead of air. NASA once translated these waves into audible tones, low, eerie hums that echo through eternity. It's haunting to realize that if you could amplify those frequencies, the universe would have a voice. Not words, not music, but vibration. A slow, deep resonance carried through the medium of stars. Every cluster hums a slightly different note, tuned by its mass and motion. Together, they create a cosmic choir. Clusters are not only astronomical wonders, they are laboratories of time. Light from their most distant members began its journey billions of years ago, when Earth was still molten rock. Observing them is like peering into history. A telescope becomes a time machine, and every photon is a traveler carrying the story of creation. Even in their immensity, clusters remind us of fragility. They will not last forever. As dark energy continues to accelerate expansion, these clusters will drift apart. Their light will fade. Their bonds will stretch thin, and eventually, each will stand isolated in its own dark sphere. The web that once connected them will dissolve into silence. But perhaps that solitude is not sadness. The clusters will continue to exist, shining for eons longer than any life could measure. Their stars will cool, their light will redden, and slowly, their radiance will blend back into the background glow, the universe returning to its quiet equilibrium. In their fate, we glimpse our own. Everything bound by gravity eventually yields to time. Planets, stars, clusters, all drift outward, losing connection but never meaning. What once was whole becomes part of something greater, the diffuse peace of cosmic stillness. Yet while they endure, clusters play a vital role. They anchor the structure of the universe, their gravity slowing expansion locally, creating sanctuaries of stability. Without them, the cosmic web would unravel too soon. The universe's rhythm depends on these deep, glowing hearts. There's comfort in that idea, that even amid vast emptiness, there are centers of coherence, places where gravity still whispers, "Stay." Every cluster, in its quiet way, defies entropy for a while, reminding the cosmos that gathering is as sacred as dispersing. If you imagine looking down on the universe from above, clusters sparkle like lanterns floating in an infinite ocean. Their light marks the intersections of destiny, where matter met matter and chose to remain. Those points of persistence are proof that the universe knows how to hold itself together, even as it expands apart. In the end, perhaps that's all any of us are doing, trying to hold on to a little light in the dark, orbiting one another in gentle gravity, resisting isolation with connection. The laws that govern galaxies also govern hearts. And as we leave these glowing citadels behind, we turn back toward the spaces between them, the silent stretches that cradle all creation. In the next chapter, we'll drift into the depths of the great void itself, the place where matter ends and true stillness begins. Beyond the glowing filaments of galaxies lies a silence deeper than any other, the great void. It is not a place we can visit, nor a darkness we can simply see. It is the absence of everything: stars, dust, gas, even time's familiar rhythm. A cosmic gulf where light has nothing to touch and gravity has nothing to hold. The great void is space between stories, the pause between breaths in the universe's eternal song. For decades, astronomers assumed the cosmos was evenly filled with galaxies, spread like dust through a vast room. Then came the maps, observations from redshift surveys and cosmic microwave background data that revealed something astonishing. The universe is not uniform. It is a foam of matter and emptiness. Between the filaments stretch voids, regions hundreds of millions of light years wide, nearly empty, almost perfect in their stillness. One of the largest, the Bootes void, sits roughly 700 million light years away. Within that colossal sphere, spanning nearly 330 million light years across, only a few dozen galaxies exist. It is a hole in the fabric of existence, vast enough to contain tens of thousands of Milky Ways, yet almost entirely bare. To peer into it is to look at nothing, and yet feel everything. Scientists sometimes describe these voids as bubbles in cosmic champagne, inflated by the expansion of space. Their boundaries mark where matter gathered to form filaments, leaving emptiness behind. In that sense, the voids are not errors. They're the negative space that made structure possible. Creation, it seems, required absence as much as presence. If we could float inside the Bootes void, we would see galaxies at impossible distances, tiny sparks scattered around the horizon. The blackness between them would not be the usual night. It would be profound, thick with quiet. There, the cosmic background radiation would dominate everything. A faint, uniform glow, the aftertaste of the Big Bang, humming at a temperature just above absolute zero. That radiation, the cosmic microwave background, or CMB, is the oldest light in the universe, a relic from when atoms first formed 380,000 years after the Big Bang. It travels freely through the voids, unbothered by matter, preserving the earliest whispers of time. In the silence of the great void, that ancient light is the only sound. To exist in such a place would be to drift beyond orientation. There is no up, no down, no near, no far. Space itself becomes the medium and the message. You wouldn't fall or fly, you'd simply float, suspended in an eternal moment. Every direction would look the same. In the void, perspective loses meaning, and with it, fear. Astrophysicists study these vast gaps not just for their emptiness, but for what they reveal about the invisible. The shape and motion of voids help map dark energy's strength and dark matter's distribution. They act as cosmic thermometers, measuring how the universe expands through what is missing, not what remains. And yet, there's something deeply human about these empty spaces. They remind us of the silence between thoughts, the moments when the mind pauses between one idea and the next. Just as the universe needs voids to define structure, we need stillness to define understanding. Emptiness gives meaning to form. In the philosophy of Buddhism, there's a concept called shunyata, emptiness not as absence, but as potential. The great void could be seen the same way, not a flaw in creation, but the womb of it. Within emptiness lies the possibility of everything. The universe began from nothing. Perhaps it still carries that lesson in its design. Voids are not truly motionless. Over billions of years, they grow, expand, and merge, swallowing smaller ones. Their walls thin, their centers deepen. In this slow evolution, the universe sculpts itself like a tide-eroding stone. What begins as randomness settles into balance. Even nothingness finds harmony. When galaxies drift near a void, they feel its subtle repulsion, a gravitational push caused by the lower density inside. It's paradoxical. Emptiness pushes outward. The void expands not because of energy within it, but because of what it lacks. Gravity elsewhere pulls harder, drawing matter away, leaving silence to widen. If you could listen to the void, it would sound like eternity itself. No echoes, no beginning or end, just the low hum of existence stretching outward. The vacuum may seem mute, but quantum physics tells another story. Even nothing vibrates. Virtual particles flicker in and out of being, borrowing energy from time, vanishing before they can be caught. The void is alive with impermanence. At scales smaller than atoms, even the great void teems with activity. Fields pulse, fluctuations ripple, potential energy churns. From this quantum foam, reality perpetually recreates itself. Perhaps that's why the void feels sacred. It's where creation never stopped. There's beauty in realizing that even emptiness has texture. Its quiet is not dead, but deliberate. In the void, the universe practices patience. It waits. It breathes. And in that waiting, galaxies gather strength to shine, planets form, and consciousness blooms. We exist because the universe learned to pause. Imagine floating through that silence, weightless, thoughtless. The nearest star is hundreds of millions of light years away. Yet somehow, you still feel connected. Every heartbeat echoes faintly against the curvature of space-time. You are both vanishingly small and infinitely continuous. The void does not erase you. It absorbs you gently as part of its peace. Astronomers often refer to the great void as underdense, a sterile technical term that fails to capture its grace. But perhaps poetry can succeed where language of numbers fails. The void is not lack, it's balance. It's the blank page on which light writes its meaning. As the universe expands, these vast, empty regions grow ever larger. Someday, their boundaries will outstretch even light's ability to cross them. The cosmic web will fade, the filaments will dim, and the void will reign, not as conqueror, but as caretaker. All energy will spread so thin that motion itself will slow into stillness. That stillness is not tragedy. It's the final breath of creation, the point where everything that could happen has. In that silence, entropy is not destruction, but rest. The great void becomes the universe's meditation, its return to awareness without form. And perhaps that's what the void has been teaching us all along, that presence doesn't require matter, and meaning doesn't require noise. The deepest truths exist not in what's seen, but in what's felt, in the quiet spaces where light has yet to arrive. So as we drift back from this vast emptiness, we carry its lesson with us. That stillness, far from being the end, is the beginning of understanding. In the next chapter, we'll follow what remains, the delicate balance of gravity and time, the twin forces that keep even the emptiest universe alive. Everything that moves, moves because of two invisible sculptors, gravity and time. One bends, one flows, and together they shape the story of the universe. Without gravity, there would be no gathering, no stars, no worlds. Without time, there would be no sequence, no change, no becoming. The cosmos is not built of matter, but of motion, woven by these twin architects into a living fabric. Einstein's theory of general relativity showed that gravity is not a force in the traditional sense. It is the geometry of space-time itself, the way the stage curves in response to its actors. Massive objects bend the fabric around them, and other objects follow those curves. Planets orbit not because they are pulled, but because they move along the shape of time's flow. You are sitting, right now, at the bottom of a small dimple in space-time. Earth curves the invisible grid beneath you, keeping you bound not by strength but by shape. If that curvature vanished, you wouldn't fall. You would simply continue moving straight, unaware that straightness itself had changed. Gravity is geometry made emotional, the universe's way of keeping things close. Even light cannot escape this embrace. Photons, weightless as they are, travel along the curvature of space. When light passes a massive star or galaxy, it bends, a phenomenon we call gravitational lensing. It is the cosmos itself acting as an artist, bending light into arcs and halos, revealing the invisible through distortion. Gravity also gives rise to time's most mysterious effect, dilation. The stronger the gravitational field, the slower time passes. Near a black hole, a second for one observer could be centuries for another. The universe does not share a single clock. Every point ticks at its own pace. Time is elastic, stretching and compressing like the universe's breath. This relativity reveals a profound truth. Space and time are inseparable. They are one fabric, space-time, and motion is its only language. When mass gathers, it curves space. When time flows, it defines direction. Every movement you make, every orbit, every fall, is simply space-time following its own instructions. Think of it like a river. Gravity shapes the riverbed, and time is the water that flows through it. The current never stops, but the shape it takes depends on the terrain. Mountains bend it, valleys guide it, and yet no part of it is separate. Space and time are one current, and we are the ripples it carries. On cosmic scales, gravity sculpts everything we see. It gathers gas into stars, stars into galaxies, galaxies into clusters, and clusters into filaments. It is the universe's weaver, turning randomness into rhythm. Without gravity, the cosmos would be dust, cold, diffuse, and silent. With it, we have suns, worlds, and life itself. But gravity is also patient. It works in slow motion, shaping creation over billions of years. Every orbit, every collision, every fall is a brushstroke in its quiet masterpiece. It doesn't rush or shout, it waits. It is eternity's hand at work. Meanwhile, time plays the opposite role. It moves forward relentlessly, carrying all things toward transformation. Gravity holds, time releases. Gravity builds structure, time dissolves it. The universe's beauty emerges from their balance, one forming, one fading, both necessary. From the moment of the Big Bang, gravity and time have danced together. The universe expanded, gravity resisted, structures formed, and time continued to stretch the canvas wider. The result is the cosmos we see today, a frozen explosion still in motion. Every galaxy, every heartbeat, every second is part of that ongoing expansion of now. The deeper we study them, the more they seem like two sides of one truth. Gravity shapes how time moves. Time decides how gravity feels. Einstein captured it in one sentence. Matter tells space-time how to curve. Space-time tells matter how to move. It's a conversation, not a command. A dialogue that never ends. In the silence between stars, you can almost feel that dialogue. When you look at the night sky, you are seeing into the past. Light takes time to travel, so every star you see is an earlier version of itself. The cosmos doesn't just exist, it remembers. Gravity holds its memories. Time carries them forward. Every orbit is a story told in circles. Planets return to the same point, again and again, not because they are trapped, but because time loves repetition. The Earth's path around the Sun is not confinement, it's ritual, a yearly pilgrimage through space-time, written by gravity's steady hand. We, too, are shaped by that same dialogue. Our bodies obey gravity, our lives obey time. We fall and we age, not out of punishment, but out of participation. We are expressions of the same law that guides galaxies. Every heartbeat is gravity, keeping us grounded while time carries us forward. There's a comfort in that symmetry. The forces that govern the universe also govern your breath. When you inhale, you gather. When you exhale, you release. Gravity and time hold and let go, balance in microcosm. The cosmos is not somewhere else. It is happening within you. Some physicists speculate that gravity may not be fundamental at all, but emergent, a byproduct of information and entropy, the way temperature arises from motion. If true, then gravity could be the universe's way of remembering itself, a pattern born from the collective behavior of everything it contains. Time, too, may not be absolute. Quantum mechanics hints that on the smallest scales, it flickers, reverses, even disappears. Perhaps what we call now is an illusion created by consciousness, a trick that allows finite beings to navigate an infinite process. The cosmos may not flow through time, it may be time. Still, we experience it linearly because we must. Our lives move forward, not sideways, and that direction gives us meaning. Time's arrow is the universe's story written one sentence at a time. Without it, there would be no narrative, no cause, no consequence, no growth. The price of existence is movement, and yet, when you pause, breathe, and let silence fill you, time seems to slow. For a moment, you step outside its current and float. In that stillness, you sense what gravity feels, the wish to hold everything close. You, the earth, the stars, all suspended in the same invisible fabric. Someday, perhaps, gravity will lose this dance. Time will stretch too far, expansion will outpace attraction, and the galaxies will fade into solitude. But even then, the pattern will endure. The memory of motion will linger, encoded in the curvature of space-time itself. Nothing ever truly stops, it only changes shape. The architects will rest, their masterpiece complete. A universe balanced between curvature and flow, silence and song. And from their quiet work, we can learn how to live with patience, with motion, with grace. So as we drift onward, let us follow this balance deeper, to the most mysterious sculptors of all, the black holes, where gravity becomes infinite and time almost ceases to exist. If gravity and time are the architects of the universe, then black holes are their masterpieces. Their paradox is made visible. They are places where gravity becomes so strong that it traps even light, and where time itself slows to near stillness. A black hole isn't an object so much as a condition, a region where the rules of existence fold in on themselves. At the heart of every black hole lies the singularity, a point of infinite density, where the known laws of physics break. Here, space curves endlessly inward, and time loses its meaning. You cannot see the singularity directly. It's hidden behind an event horizon, a boundary beyond which nothing returns. Cross that threshold, and every path leads only inward. From the outside, a black hole appears simple, a perfect sphere of darkness surrounded by light. But that simplicity is deceptive. The edge is alive with motion. Matter spiraling inward forms an accretion disk, glowing hotter than stars, spinning faster than thought. It's a cosmic whirlpool, beautiful and terrifying, a ballet of destruction that creates pure light before silence swallows it. If you approached one, the view would be mesmerizing. The sky would bend, stars would stretch into luminous rings, and space itself would wrap around the black circle. Time would dilate, seconds for you turning into centuries for those watching from afar. You wouldn't fall into the hole would rise up to meet you. And yet, from your perspective, nothing extraordinary happens at the horizon. You'd pass through it quietly, unaware that the outside universe has already moved on without you. To distant eyes, you'd appear frozen at the edge forever, light stretched and reddened into invisibility. Both experiences are true, separated by perspective. Inside, no map applies. The very idea of direction ceases to exist. All paths lead to the center, and the center is no place at all, just curvature without surface, an equation without boundary. What exists there may not even be matter as we understand it, but information compressed beyond recognition. That mystery drives one of physics' greatest questions. What happens to information inside a black hole? Quantum theory insists that information can never be destroyed. Relativity seems to suggest it can. Somewhere between those two truths lies a deeper law we haven't yet found. Stephen Hawking proposed that black holes are not completely black. Quantum fluctuations near the event horizon allow them to emit radiation, tiny particles escaping the void. Over unimaginable timescales, this Hawking radiation causes black holes to lose mass and eventually evaporate. Even the darkest places in the universe, it seems, cannot last forever. In that sense, Black holes are not eternal prisons, but stages in a cycle. They consume, radiate, and fade. What falls in may one day be released, transformed. Death, it appears, is not the end of information, it's its rearrangement. At the center of many galaxies, including our own, lies a supermassive black hole millions of times heavier than the Sun. The one in the Milky Way, Sagittarius A, hums silently 26,000 light-years away, anchoring our galaxy with invisible gravity. Around it, stars orbit at furious speeds, tracing its unseen outline like sparks around a hidden fire. These giants are the engines of creation. Their gravity shapes galaxies, drives star formation, and regulates cosmic growth. When they feed, jets of energy shoot from their poles, illuminating intergalactic space. Out of darkness comes light, out of collapse, creation. And perhaps that's the black hole's true lesson, that endings and beginnings are not opposites, but reflections. The same equations that describe gravitational collapse also describe the Big Bang in reverse. Where one universe dies, another may be born. Some physicists even suggest that every black hole might seed a new cosmos on the other side, a baby universe expanding into its own dimensions. In that view, our own Big Bang could be the interior of another universe's collapse, the echo of a parent reality breathing out. The cosmos could be infinite recursion, creation nested within creation. If that's true, then every black hole is not a tomb, but a womb. Its silence is not emptiness, but gestation. Time inside may stop for us, but beyond the horizon, a new timeline could be blooming, unrolling its own stars, galaxies, and lives. In this way, black holes embody the union of opposites, gravity's embrace and time's surrender. They are both stillness and motion, death and rebirth, end and beginning. No wonder they capture both scientific and spiritual imagination. They are physics' way of saying mystery. When the Event Horizon Telescope captured the first image of a black hole in 2019, it wasn't just a scientific milestone, it was a moment of collective reflection. Humanity saw for the first time the shadow of nothingness surrounded by fire. It was as if the universe had turned a mirror toward us and whispered, "See what you are made of." Because in a way, we are. Every atom in your body, every photon that touches your skin, once danced near the edge of a black hole's ancestor, a dying star. Those ancient collapses forged the heavy elements that now think, breathe, and wonder. The darkness we fear is the cradle of our light. To contemplate a black hole is to face the paradox of existence itself. How something so empty can hold so much meaning, how destruction and creation are the same process seen from different sides. It's not about what happens after crossing the horizon, it's about what the horizon teaches us before we reach it. In that lesson lies serenity. The universe is not cruel, not kind. It simply transforms. Black holes remind us that letting go does not erase you. It recycles you into something new. Even time, that relentless current, pauses there, not to end, but to rest. And when we step back from the edge, when we look again at the stars, we understand them differently. Each point of light exists because somewhere, something fell into darkness. The cosmos shines by contrast. Without the black, there would be no glow. So as we drift away from these dark horizons, we carry their wisdom with us. The knowledge that stillness and motion, loss and creation are the same cosmic breath. And in the final chapter, we'll return to where we began, the vastness that surrounds everything. We'll ask what it all means, the motion, the silence, the endless drift. In the end, we'll search for the purpose of the void itself. Everything we have seen, the stars, the galaxies, the dark matter, the expanding voids, leads to one lingering question. Why does emptiness exist at all? Why would a universe born in light spend most of its eternity in darkness? Perhaps the void isn't a mistake or leftover, but the foundation of everything that is. In the beginning, when the universe was a fraction of a second old, it was perfectly uniform. There were no galaxies, no atoms, just energy. Tiny fluctuations, quantum ripples in that early light, became the seeds of everything. Where there was a little more, matter gathered. Where there was a little less, emptiness remained. From that asymmetry, structure was born. Without those empty regions, gravity could not have sculpted galaxies or stars. The voids were the universe's scaffolding, the spaces that allowed the filaments to grow. Emptiness wasn't the absence of creation, it was its frame. In every painting, there must be background. In every symphony, there must be silence. Science shows us that nothingness is not nothing. Even the vacuum vibrates. Particles appear and vanish. Fields fluctuate. Light hums at frequencies too faint to detect. The void is pregnant with possibility, a stage where reality performs its endless play. If you could remove everything, every atom, every photon, every law, you would not reach true nothingness. You would find potential. Cause blank that is still fertile. Emptiness, it seems, is not the opposite of existence, it is its source. Philosophers have wrestled with this for centuries. Why is there something rather than nothing? But maybe the two are not opposites at all. Maybe they are partners like gravity and time, matter and energy. To exist, the universe must also not exist, at least somewhere. Only contrast makes perception possible. Look around you. Every shape is defined by the space around it. Every sound is outlined by silence. Every heartbeat means something because it pauses. The void gives form to everything it touches. Without it, the universe would be static, full, but lifeless. In physics, the vacuum has energy, a pressure that drives cosmic expansion. That energy, mysterious and invisible, is what we call dark energy. It is the power of nothingness itself, pushing everything outward, making room for change. The universe expands because emptiness desires more of itself. Maybe that expansion is not a force of separation, but of generosity. The void stretches, not to erase, but to include, to give everything space to be. Galaxies drift apart so each may shine in peace, without collision or crowding. The cosmos teaches us that distance is not loneliness, it's permission. In that way, emptiness becomes love at the largest scale, a vast acceptance that allows stars to burn, planets to orbit, and life to wonder. The universe does not cling, it lets go, endlessly, and in doing so, sustains everything. When we look at the night sky, we're not peering into a cold abyss, we're gazing at the most generous silence imaginable. Every dark patch between stars is the reason those stars exist. The black canvas gives their light meaning. Our lives mirror that truth. Between every heartbeat, there's stillness. Between thoughts, space, between people, distance that allows individuality. The same principle that governs galaxies governs love, art, and time. We are all learning to exist within the void gracefully. Scientists predict that trillions of years from now, the expansion will continue until even the last star fades. Darkness will reclaim the stage. Yet perhaps that final quiet is not defeat. It is the universe returning home, to rest in itself, at peace with what it has created. Emptiness, then, might be the cosmos remembering its original simplicity. Before the galaxies, before the light, before the noise, there was balance. Stillness is not the opposite of motion, it's its fulfillment. Even now, when you close your eyes and feel your breath slow, you experience a version of that balance. Between inhale and exhale, there is a pause, a void. It's not frightening, it's sacred. The same pause exists between the birth and death of stars, between the tick and tock of time. The universe breathes through you. Emptiness also holds memory. The cosmic microwave background, the soft hum that fills all of space, is the echo of everything that ever was. It's proof that even silence records. The void does not forget, it listens. In that listening lies compassion. Because even though we are small, fragile, momentary, the universe includes us. It makes room for us. Every atom, every thought, every dream has its place in that infinite quiet. The cosmos does not demand we fill it. It invites us to simply exist within it. Maybe that's the final truth. The void is not nothing to fear, but something to belong to. It's the soft pillow beneath creation, the calm beneath chaos, the peace after movement. Without it, there would be no contrast, no depth, no beauty. As we reach the end of our journey, take a moment to imagine it. The great cosmic void, stretching endlessly, holding every star, every atom, every life, not as emptiness, but as unity. In its silence, everything is connected. And so, traveler, as you drift back from this journey, carry that peace with you. Let it remind you that even in absence, there is meaning. Even in silence, there is song. Even in darkness, there is understanding. If this quiet exploration brought you calm tonight, I'm deeply grateful you spent it here with me. Please tell me in the comments where you are tonight, and what time it is where you're listening from. Your presence, your words, even your silence, they're like little stars guiding me forward. Now, close your eyes. Feel the stillness between each thought. You are floating, not lost but held, inside a universe that loves through emptiness, and in that vast, gentle silence, everything simply is. For centuries, physics has been guided by four fundamental forces: gravity, electromagnetism, and the strong and weak nuclear interactions. They are the chords that play the symphony of reality. But recently, whispers in data and theory suggest a hidden harmony, a possible fifth force, faint yet profound, that might connect the known and the unknown. This idea began not with fantasy, but with anomalies. In particle experiments and galactic behavior, scientists noticed patterns that refused explanation. Something subtle tugged where gravity alone couldn't account, something faintly altering how matter interacts. Could there be another thread woven into the cosmic fabric, one we've barely begun to sense? Physicists call it by many names: a fifth interaction, a dark force, a scalar field. Its presence could explain the accelerated expansion of space or the distribution of dark matter. Like a background hum, it might shape the universe without ever being directly seen. Imagine it as a whisper between particles, a quiet agreement that keeps them aligned even across vast emptiness. If gravity is the hand that holds, the fifth force could be the intention behind that hand, the silent instruction that tells matter how to care for itself. Experiments like those at Fermilab and CERN continue to listen for that whisper. They search in subtle differences in how muons wobble or how neutrons decay. Every new measurement refines the edge of the possible. Science, in this way, becomes an act of meditation, patient, repetitive, hopeful. If this hidden force exists, it would be everywhere, surrounding you now. It might flow through every atom, guiding the dance of electrons, keeping the geometry of your very cells stable. The air you breathe, the light that warms you, the heartbeat that sustains you. Each could be tuned to that unseen rhythm. Some theorists connect it to dark energy, others to quantum fields beyond the standard model. Perhaps the universe has layers we cannot yet perceive, fields folded atop fields, frequencies too fine for our coarse instruments. The cosmos might be humming in octaves we've never heard. The thought feels both humbling and beautiful. For every discovery we make, another horizon appears. Knowledge expands like the universe itself, faster than our ability to contain it. The unknown is not a boundary, it's an invitation. And if a fifth force truly exists, it might unify everything, linking gravity to the quantum realm, the very large to the very small. For decades, physicists have sought a theory of everything. Maybe that theory isn't just mathematical, it's musical. Consider how harmony works. Each note on its own is incomplete, but together they create resonance. The fifth force, then, might be resonance itself, the balancing vibration that keeps the four familiar forces in tune. In that sense, we might already be feeling it. The calm between breaths, the stillness that underlies movement, the subtle coherence that makes life feel aligned. Perhaps these are echoes of that hidden harmony. Even if we never detect it directly, the search itself changes us. It teaches humility, reminding us that nature always leaves more to learn. Every question we ask becomes a new star in the night sky of understanding. And perhaps that's what science truly is, not conquest, but curiosity turned into ritual. Each experiment is a candle lit in the cathedral of the unknown, illuminating not certainty but wonder. The fifth force, real or not, reminds us that reality is never finished. It is alive, breathing, adapting. There is no final theory, no ultimate map, only deepening awareness. If such a force governs the hidden layers of the cosmos, then it governs us too. Our emotions, our thoughts, our connections, they might be manifestations of that same coherence, vibrating at human scale. When you love, when you trust, when you feel belonging, you are aligning with the universe's hidden structure. The fifth force might not just hold atoms together, it might hold meaning together. And if that's true, then physics and philosophy finally meet. The equations of motion and the emotions of existence merge, each reflecting the other's purpose, to connect. So, whether the fifth force is a measurable field or a metaphor for harmony, its lesson endures. The universe is not chaos stitched together, it's order expressed through silence. When we listen deeply enough, even the void hums. Perhaps, in its own way, it's been speaking all along. We just needed to become quiet enough to hear it. In the next chapter, we'll step beyond even this, the edge of perception itself, to explore the multiverse hypothesis, where countless universes ripple through an infinite sea of possibility. If our universe feels vast beyond comprehension, imagine that it might not be alone. Imagine countless others, each with its own laws, constants, and histories, drifting like bubbles in a sea without shore. This is the multiverse, the boldest idea in modern cosmology, that existence itself may be infinite, not just in space, but in possibility. The seeds of this concept lie in inflation theory. After the Big Bang, space expanded faster than light, stretching quantum fluctuations into vast cosmic structures. But some models suggest that inflation never fully ended. Instead, it continues eternally, spawning new universes in pockets of space-time, each one cooling, forming, and evolving independently. Our cosmos, then, could be just one region of a boundless quilt, stitched together by physics we can barely glimpse. Every bubble may obey its own rules, some filled with stars and life, others collapsing seconds after birth. The multiverse is not chaos, it's variation on an infinite theme. To scientists, it's a logical extension of mathematics. To philosophers, it's a humbling revelation. To poets, it's a dream that reality might never repeat the same pattern twice. In this vision, every possibility that could exist does, somewhere, somehow, endlessly. If that sounds fantastical, remember, our own existence once seemed equally improbable. A universe where matter survived antimatter, where stars ignited, where atoms became sentient. This reality is already extraordinary. The multiverse simply multiplies that wonder. String theory offers one route to it. In its equations, multiple dimensions intertwine, vibrating in ways that create different physical constants. Each possible vibration could produce a distinct universe, like notes played on an infinite instrument. The multiverse, then, would be the song of all existence, forever playing, never finishing. Quantum mechanics offers another path. According to the many worlds interpretation, every decision, every quantum event splits reality into branches. In one version of you, you're reading this line at night. In another, at dawn. In one, Earth exists. In another, it never formed. Reality, in this view, is not a single film but an endless library of reels, every frame a complete world. It's dizzying to imagine, but also strangely comforting. If every possibility exists, then nothing is ever truly lost. Each ending here is a beginning elsewhere. The universe doesn't erase, it diversifies. Still, we cannot see beyond our cosmic horizon. Light hasn't had time to reach us from those other realms, and perhaps never will. We live inside our own bubble, gazing at its curved walls, suspecting there's more beyond the dark. Our instruments measure whispers, but our hearts feel the truth. Infinity doesn't need proof, it simply is. And if the multiverse is real, what does that make us? Accidents, echoes, or perhaps conscious witnesses of one branch, chosen not by fate, but by observation. We are the awareness through which this version of reality becomes real. The act of noticing makes the cosmos complete. The beauty of the multiverse is not in its scale, but in its intimacy. Somewhere, perhaps, another version of you is looking up at a slightly different sky, wondering the same thing. Somewhere, another galaxy forms a billion years earlier, another civilization dreams a little longer. Existence, it seems, is generous with its chances. In that generosity lies a lesson. The universe doesn't economize meaning, it overflows with it. Every possible combination of matter, energy, and thought unfolds somewhere. And in that endless bloom, even mistakes become masterpieces. But maybe the multiverse isn't a physical place at all. Maybe it's a metaphor for awareness, the infinite branching of perception within each of us. Every thought creates a small universe of possibility. Every choice shapes the next reality we inhabit. The cosmos outside mirrors the cosmos within. Even if we never detect another universe, the theory reminds us that our own is not the limit of imagination. Science, at its best, doesn't just describe, it inspires. It invites us to look at the night sky and think, what if? Perhaps the multiverse is less about physics than about perspective. The recognition that infinity can't be contained, that truth can't be singular, that existence is a conversation rather than a statement. And maybe that's why this idea feels so peaceful. Because if reality is infinite, then there's room for everything, for wonder and confusion, for love and loss, for galaxies and silence. Nothing stands alone, everything echoes forever. So when you close your eyes tonight, imagine your consciousness as one of those universes, expanding, exploring, colliding with others in dreams and thoughts. Within you may exist countless possible versions of the world, all unfolding in gentle parallel. You are not small within infinity. You are infinity made aware of itself, a reflection of the cosmos noticing its own vastness. Your thoughts are galaxies, your breath, expansion, your stillness, the space between stars. And in that realization, peace arises. The multiverse doesn't diminish our importance, it magnifies it. For awareness itself may be the final constant, the one thread connecting every world, every law, every life. If every possibility exists, then this one, this quiet night, this gentle listening was chosen too. Out of all the infinite configurations of reality, this moment found you. That is not coincidence, it is belonging. So as we approach the close of our cosmic journey, carry this truth with you. The universe, whether one or infinite, is complete through your awareness. You are the witness that turns possibility into being. You are how the multiverse knows it exists. And as we drift toward the conclusion, let's rest in that knowing. Beyond science, beyond words, beyond even time, lies something timeless, the consciousness that watches all universes unfold, softly, forever. The universe has always been both infinite and intimate. After drifting through stars, voids, black holes, and dimensions beyond imagination, we return now to where we began, a single mind, breathing in the dark, listening to the quiet hum of reality. Every question we've asked tonight has led here, to this moment of stillness, to this simple awareness that you exist, floating in a sea of possibility. All that we've explored, gravity's pull, dark energy's push, the cosmic web's threads, the quiet of the void, it all converges here in consciousness. The same laws that move galaxies through space also move thoughts through the mind. The same expansion that carries clusters apart gives you the space to grow within yourself. You are not separate from the universe's story, you are its continuation. There's a quiet irony in realizing that after 13.8 billion years of cosmic evolution, the universe became calm enough for awareness to bloom, for atoms forged in dying stars to wonder why they exist. You are the universe looking back at itself, briefly self-aware before returning to silence. That is not tragedy, it's poetry written in physics. When you look up at the night sky, you are seeing not distance, but memory. Every photon that touches your eye left its home long before you existed. The light of dead stars lives on in you, and perhaps one day, the light of your thoughts, your kindness, your curiosity, your wonder will ripple outward too, joining that same eternal glow. Emptiness surrounds everything, yet it's not void of meaning. It's an embrace so vast that it includes all things, stars, atoms, breaths, dreams. Every pause, every silence, every moment of peace between your heartbeats mirrors the quiet expansion of space itself. The universe breathes through you, calmly, endlessly. We began this journey inside a cosmic void, uncertain of what it meant to float in such absence. Now perhaps we understand that the void was never absence at all. It was presence, stretched thin. It was the canvas of existence, the stage where creation could unfold. Without its silence, There could be no music. Without its darkness, no light. Without its stillness, no movement. You might wonder what it all means. Why anything exists at all. Why something so immense could hold something as fragile as consciousness. Maybe meaning doesn't lie in purpose, but in participation. The universe doesn't ask you to solve it. It asks you to experience it, to notice, to breathe, to be. That alone fulfills its equation. Science tells us that energy cannot be destroyed, only transformed. The same is true of awareness. The thoughts you have tonight, the love you've given, the peace you've found, they don't vanish. They become part of something larger, woven into time itself. The cosmos records everything, not in words or symbols, but in resonance. You are an echo of infinity, and in that echo there is comfort, because if everything is connected, then nothing is ever truly lost. The stars that died became the atoms that think. The atoms that fade will one day form something new. Life is not a chapter within the universe's story. It is the voice that narrates it aloud for a while. As we come to rest at the edge of thought, notice how quiet everything feels. The galaxies still spin, the void still expands. But here, in this small moment of awareness, there is stillness. You are the calm center of motion, the eye of the cosmic storm. The universe does not exist outside you. It unfolds through you, like waves passing through an ocean that has always been whole. If this quiet journey brought you peace, I'm deeply grateful you spent it here with me. Tell me, if you wish, where in this vast world you're listening from, what city, what hour, so that we may light up this darkness together, tiny stars sharing our coordinates across time. And now, traveler, as you drift to sleep, let your breath sync with the slow rhythm of the cosmos. The stars will keep moving, the galaxies will keep humming, the void will keep expanding. But you have earned rest. You are not lost within the universe. You are the universe, briefly remembering itself. And in that remembrance, everything, light, silence, gravity, time, finally finds peace.